Hey everyone, so I wanted to talk a little bit today about bikes in Japan. Pretty much everyone I knew had a bike. All my friends had bikes, all the students had bikes, and that's how they got to school every day. So the bikes can be somewhat expensive, even used bikes. Like my bike was a multi-speed bike, it had 3 gears, and that one cost about 8,000 yen, which is around $80, and then plus 500 yen for like the little license or sticker that says you own the bike, because believe it or not, bikes get stolen fairly often in Japan, and if you get stopped by a police officer and you can't prove that it's your bike with that registration, then you can get in some big trouble. Everyone had a bike, and that was how we got to class every day. That's how we traveled around the city. I mean, you could bike anywhere you wanted in the city within 10 to 15 minutes. And then most people had like those charty bikes with like the handles that come out to the side or whatever. And they have like the baskets in the front or the baskets in the back so you could carry groceries or whatever. Biking regulations and rules are actually fairly strict over in Japan. Like they have signs that say, you're not allowed to ride with, like, while holding an umbrella, which you see every now and then. You're not allowed to, like, ride your bike intoxicated or ride your bike with the cell phone. You have to ride on the left side of the road, which is the same side as traffic. And when you have so many students biking to school, you kind of have to be a little more strict because there's just so many people biking at once. Like during rush hour in the mornings, when everyone was going to class, like around 8 in the morning, if you lived in one of the dorms, everyone would go the same route. And so you just have this long snaking line of students biking to class. Right around this intersection, we'd stop traffic because there'd just be so many students going by and they wouldn't let anyone pass. And one of the things you get used to biking in Japan is that cars pass by you really, really close, like within inches of you. And I've never heard of anyone getting hit by a car on their bike, and I'd never had that happen to me. But anyway, on the way to school, there's a river that you have to cross, and so naturally it kind of slopes down to the river, and then once you cross the bridge, it slopes back up. So I was on my way to school in the morning during the morning rush, and so I was surrounded by a bunch of other students, and I'm kind of cruising down the hill. As I get to the bottom and level out, I notice that there's a pack of like high school girls coming my way, and I'm pretty sure they're high school girls because they were dressed in uniforms, and so there's this pack of high school girls coming my way. From their side, they're on the right side of the road, which is the incorrect side of the road. You're supposed to be on the left side. So they're going against this entire wave of university students, and people are like dodging and weaving, and I didn't really notice them until the two people in front of me kind of split and let them pass. And so there were two of them, and there was someone to my left and there was someone to my right, so I couldn't get out of the way. And this girl is just coming straight at me, and it's just one of those moments where you know exactly what's going to happen, and my mind was just like, we're going to collide. We're going to hit. Oh my god, I need to brake. It just kind of slowed down, and I don't really remember what happened too well during the collision, but I just remember when we hit, we just kind of stopped dead on. She fell down, and I was standing up, and I was perfectly fine, so that made me feel really bad, because here's this girl who I just collided into, and she's on the ground. I'm just like standing over her like nothing happened. I'm not a big guy, and so I don't know, maybe I didn't slow down enough, or I had more momentum because I was just coming down the hill. But anyway, this girl's on the ground, and I just feel absolutely terrible. I'm embarrassed, but obviously she's embarrassed too, because she's the one who fell on the ground. And so I'm just trying to help her up and get her bike up, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And so after about a minute or so, we determined each other was perfectly fine, and so she started biking on her way, and my bike was kind of messed up, like the wheel wasn't aligned with the handle, so I had to fix that. And I didn't notice until later that I had a fairly deep gash on my knuckle, and I'm not sure what the gash was from, because I don't remember hitting her bike with my hand. Yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing thing that happened to me while I was in Japan, was colliding with some poor high school girl, knocking her on the ground. Another thing that happened to one of my friends while biking, I wasn't there when this happened, but apparently she was going down one of the hills that's right around the campus, and it's not a large hill, it's just pretty steep. And apparently while she was going down, she was trying to reach for something in the back of her bike, and somewhere along the line she lost control and flipped forwards over the bike and dragged her front teeth on the concrete and like whittled one of her teeth down to like the root almost. Oh my goodness, she was wearing one of those flu masks for a long time after that. But anyway, yeah, that's a little bit about bikes in Japan. So if you go to Japan as a student, you'll probably get a bike. I recommend you get a bike, and try not to knock over any high school girls like I did.